Well, hello everyone. We do not have an intro video for our awards show. Sorry to disappoint you. We will have one for our playoffs later, but welcome to the sick edition of host Preston here, along with the show.
Man, you sound like you're you're up to speed, baby.
Oh yeah, this is as good as I've felt since Monday. So that's not saying very much, but
Wow.
good enough to
You're
do
here,
this though.
though.
So that's good enough for me. Yeah, love the hat. That was one of my favorite World Baseball Classic hats. There.
Yeah, I tried to get one last round of the World Baseball Classic and didn't catch the sale in time. So whenever these came out this time, I said I'm not missing it. Definitely. Except don't wear it during hat day at school, because you will get asked multiple times if you're Jewish.
Yes, and there's a lot of polarizing political things around that right now. That's as much as I will say on that. But we are here for our awards show today. Very excited. The regular season, was really awesome. We had some teams get eliminated, which was sad. Definitely sad. Half our teams are gone. But definitely wanted to recognize the players that did really well during the regular season and some of the teams that they were on.
Yeah,
What
it's
we are going.
I can't believe it's over. I can't believe 15 weeks have went by. I mean, going throughout the whole process, it was, it felt like 15 weeks, but now that it's over, you look back and go, holy cow. I can't believe we completed that.
Yeah. It felt long and short at the same time, I guess, if that makes any sense. Let me pull up. Let's see here. I have a video for us. So the first set of awards we will be going through is the Silver Slugger Awards. So for every position,
Yes.
every hitting position minus well, I didn't do DH because that's not necessarily a thing in our league. And we have a DH spot, but we don't really have DH only type players. And obviously do not have Silver
Yeah.
Slugger starting pitchers like you would have in the MLB because they don't hit in this league. So, but catcher through all the other positions, we have Silver Sluggers. So, without further ado, let's see who our Silver Sluggers are.
Ooh, baby.
First, we will
I don't even
start
know.
with catcher. Our Silver Slugger catcher is Joe Mauer.
Oh, Joey
with
Mauer.
A 351 batting average, 47 hits, 29 runs, 19 walks, 2 homers, 27 RBI, and a stolen base.
Wow.
Joe Mauer. And whose team was he on? Was he Mosby? I believe
my gosh.
Mosby special.
Mosby, do you have Mauer?
It should be Mauer.
Wow.
Let me have this thing up so I don't make that mistake again. But Mosby special. So congrats, Mosby. Okay. You got Mauer, got himself a Silver Slugger award. So we'll continue on to our next position.
Wrong, baby.
That's right. First base. It's going to be who else? Bill Terry.
This guy Terry. Right now. Mr. 2 for 4.
We did not know he was so amazing. Chris Leeper got us on to how great Bill Terry was for the Ghosts of Candlestick Park. Look at this, 429 batting average, 66 hits. I believe only 2 players reached the 60 hit mark this year, Bill Terry and Ty Cobb. 33 runs, 14 walks, 6 home runs, 35 RBI, and a stolen base.
Unbelievable. 429 batting average. That's just absolutely absurd.
It's disgusting. He kept getting those 3-hit games. every game it seemed like.
Dude.
So Bill Terry is our first baseman. For second base is going to be
Oh.
Rogers Hornsby. That is a Ethan player, I believe it is.
Yeah, I
Fort
think so.
Boys. Rogers Hornsby, 400 batting average, which is not that unusual for him. 60 hits, 24 runs, 11 walks, 8 home runs for Hornsby, with 32 RBI and 4 stolen bases to tack on to all that.
Filled up the
So,
stat sheet, man.
what a stud. Third base
Oh.
is going to be not who you would
Okay.
think of as a third baseman, but he's third base
Wow.
eligible. Played third base this year, Gary Sheffield.
Okay.
344 batting average, 44 hits, 27 runs, 15 walks, 8 home runs, 27 RBI, and he tacked on 5
I'm
stolen bases.
I'm surprised in this. I didn't see this one coming right here.
Who would you
I
have
mean,
thought for third
he
base? We
did
had
great.
Ripken was in there. A-Rod, he came on strong later. He started slow. Michael Young was the one who started off hot in the beginning. But Gary Sheffield, this
Man.
is for the OGs. That's Micah's guy.
Okay.
So congrats, Gary
I mean,
Sheffield.
you
We will
dang.
move on. I believe our video, I think it's running. There we go. Shortstop. Here we go. It's going to be Arky Vaughn.
What?
Arky Vaughn is our shortstop. I was kind of surprised by this one
Wow.
too, but comparing him to the other shortstops, he inched out, Robin Yount, Frankie Fritsch, Cal Ripken Jr. was in there again. But he had a 371 batting average, 52 hits, 25 runs, 15 walks. He hit a homer, 22 RBI, and just 2 stolen bases. But Arky Vaughn, another
That is
ghost of
shocking.
Candlestick Park, number 2 roto team.
My
So
lord, here we go. Here we go.
stacking up the hardware. Let's see. Nathan says, "Who are these guys?" Left field is going to be, and you might be upset about this, Babe Ruth. Now he has left field eligibility. I'm not sure how much he played left field this year, but he's taking Silver Slugger for left field. Obviously, another ghost of Candlestick Park. His numbers are insane. 351 batting average, 47 hits,
Unbelievable.
35 runs. Oops. 35 runs, 34 walks, 13 home runs, 41 RBI, 2 stolen bases. So, I mean, he's considered the greatest of all time for a reason. The Babe. Next, we have center field. And our center fielder. Oh, you don't see it in the video?
I haven't seen the Babe Ruth picture or the stat line yet.
Oh, really? I'm seeing it on the Facebook stream.
Oh, it just popped up.
That was weird.
Okay. Unbelievable numbers. My lord.
It's weird.
Just
right
silly,
now.
man.
I don't know if yours is delayed or what, because now we are on to center fielder Ty Cobb with a 418 batting average, 61 hits, 27 runs, 16 walks, a home run, 25 RBI, and 13 stolen bases. He had a lot of stolen bases
looks like
in his
somebody
career.
Wants to cleat people.
Cleat people with a smile. That's Masters of the Diamond. That's our first number 1 roto team player here in the Silver Sluggers. And we actually only have one more left here. Let's see who will be our right fielder. You guys probably won't have guessed this one. Our right fielder will be none other than Juan Gonzalez. Juan Gonzalez with a 393 batting average, 55 hits, 27 runs, 11 walks, 7 home runs, 43 RBI. 43
What?
RBI. Insane.
That's
I believe he
insane.
was. He was the only player in the league to get 40 plus RBI. So
That is absolutely absurd numbers.
that should earn you a Silver Slugger Award, 43 RBI. And he belonged to $ Hit Machine. So
Oh, okay.
Nathan says, whatever happened to every team must have a representative. Well, those are our Silver Sluggers. I wanted to have put up a graphic with their names, but in my haste, I did not do that. So I'll just list them off verbally. Catcher, Joe Mauer. First base, Bill Terry. Second base, Rogers Hornsby. Third base, Gary Sheffield. Shortstop, Arky Vaughn. Left field, Babe Ruth. Center field, Ty Cobb. And right field, Juan Gonzalez.
What a mixture of players. How fun is that?
Yes. Next, we are going on to, before we get on to, top reliever, Cy Young, MVP, there's two special awards that we created. One is called Mr. Irrelevant. Now, I know this is a thing. They call Mr. Irrelevant, I know in football, maybe other sports, is the last player in the draft. But this award, Mr. Irrelevant, goes to the best player of the last round in our draft. So
Okay.
of the players drafted in the 25th round, who was the best player? We'll start at 5th and we'll move on down to 1st. So 5th place for Mr. Irrelevant is Larry Doyle, a ghost of Candlestick Park. He was the first pick in the 25th round. He batted .447, but he didn't have many
Jeez.
at-bats, 17 hits. So Larry Doyle would have been higher, had more opportunity, but for what he had, he did great. So 4th place is Russell Martin. That's a catcher for
Okay.
the Chuck Wagon fans. He batted .314, plus he had 4 home runs. 11 of his hits were four of his 11 hits were home runs. He had 11 RBIs on 11 hits. So he again didn't play much either, but batting .314 with 4 homers, he did packed a punch for the small amount of time he played. Then that will
Okay.
move us on to the 3rd place, which will be Johnny Pesky. That is Pesky for the Masters of the Diamond. He had a .302 batting average. He played a lot of time for the Masters of the Diamond, actually. 35 hits, 26 runs, 18 walks. But the power number's not there. No homers, just 10 RBI, and just 2 stolen bases. So he was good, but not. He was good. He was a good contributor, especially for last round. That brings us on to the 2nd. Nathan, you're going to like this. Dan Quisenberry, 2nd place for Mr. Irrelevant Award. So, when you have a player drafted in the last round who becomes your best reliever, that's a pretty big deal. He had 2 wins, just 10 saves. So, but the ERA 2.35, WHIP 1.02, not bad. He contributed 29.33 IIS. Ks per 9 weren't super high, but Quisenberry overtook Franco for top reliever for Nathan's team, Formidable. So, as a last round pick, that's pretty good. Pretty good in my book. So congrats, Mr. Quisenberry. That takes us to Mr. Irrelevant himself, and it's going to be Hal McRae from the Pine Tar
Wow.
Bandits. 25, the 10th pick in the 25th round. He batted .326, 31 hits, 14 runs, 8 walks, 5 homers, 27 RBI, and a stolen base. And there was a point in time where Hal McRae cracked top 5 in MVP race. So for a last round pick, that's amazing. So nice work, Travis. You have Mr. Irrelevant on your team, Hal McRae. So that will bring us to, if this will continue on, it does, our next award, and it is Mr. Value. This would be the player that has shown the most value based on where they were drafted. And Ben, I believe you will be presenting these players. I have the slides, so
Yes,
hopefully
sir.
they come up live for you.
Well, I have to. I'm watching on Facebook, so I can see it first on Facebook, and about 15 seconds later, I'll see it here. So
Oh, okay.
as long as
All
you're
right. So
sliding, I'll be able to talk.
fifth place, who do we have? Mr. Will Clark.
I'll tell you, Will Clark. All right, so kind of an urban legend for this league. I mean, both years we always talk about Will Clark, but when you're sitting there talking about 19th round pick, 303 batting average, with 36 hits, 27 runs, 22 walks, 7 bombs, 26 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. I mean, you can sit there and talk about this potentially being one of the best players in the league, and he was drafted in the 19th round. So great job, Will Clark.
That's a doo-woppers pick. Brett Carter in his first year in the league snagging Will Clark. All right. That will bring us to our next player. In fourth place, who do we have here?
J.R. Richard. This is a ghost at Candlestick Park, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh my
Another
gosh.
first-year player.
19.1 pick. What was that 6 wins? Here's me get my phone here. 6 wins, 9 quality starts, 1.59 ERA. That is absolutely insane. With a 109 whip, 28 IIS, 74 Ks. What an absolute steal of a pick in the 19th round.
Yeah, amazing. 19th round. I can't hardly wrap my head around that. That was a great pick, Chris. Nice snag with J.R. Richard. That will bring us on to our third place, Mr. Value.
The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brian Giles himself, who could have very easily, with these numbers, been Mr. Value, but he was picked in the 18th round. Still pretty low. 18th round. 352 batting average. Seemed like every time this dude would play, he'd get 2 hits. 50 hits, 25 runs, 22 walks, 7 bombs. Who knew the dude had that much power? 30 RBIs, and even tacked on 5 stolen bases. Brian Giles, man.
He did it all. I mean, from walks to power to stolen bases to contact, literally did it all. And Morgan was upset Giles didn't get in the top 5 in the MVP race.
Yeah, he was, man.
So, but he
Furious.
didn't even get, and he didn't even get Mr. Value though. He placed third. That means we got some great players coming up here. We got 2 more guys. 2 more guys, and
Uh-oh.
this next guy.
Who's next? Who's next,
we
though? Who's next,
all
baby?
know well. Oh my.
The
If you want to talk about a fan favorite.
American Nightmare.
Woo,
Jared
is it hot in here? Oh
Weaver.
my.
Oh, and what's even crazier is these numbers were even more absurd until that very last start of the year where he got touched up a little bit. Look at these numbers still. 23rd round pick. 5 wins, 7 quality starts, 1.97 ERA, 0.99 whip, 7 IIS, 49 Ks. It's the American Nightmare, ladies and gentlemen. And how he's not Mr. Value, that this next guy better just blow us out of the water because.
Yeah, he better, because Jared Weaver blows us out of the water every time. except for that last start, but every time. Well, that brings us to the number one, Mr. Value, our winner.
Mr. Cardinal, Jim Bottomley. Look at this guy. 24th round. 24th round. Afterthought. 44 hits, 28 runs, 11 walks, 5 home runs, 24 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. Listen, when I think of Mr. Value, all the guys that we named have just, they've been a great stats compared to where they were drafted. But you're talking about the second to last round here. And look at those numbers. That, in my mind, he deserves Mr. Value.
I agree. And he was even 19th overall in the MVP race. 19th overall for a guy who was almost drafted in the last round. So that is a Tiger Lilies player right there, actually. Yep. And yep, I would be remiss if I didn't give Max his shout out as well for having drafted Jared Weaver. Jared Weaver, American Nightmare. It was a Picklesburg baseball player this year. But yep, Jim Bottomley. That's Wade Walker. Tiger Lily.
Great pick.
So nice snag. You officially drafted Mr. Value. Congratulations, Wade. What a pick. Well, that does bring us now into our regular awards that we've been tracking on all year long, starting with top relief pitcher.
Ooh.
5th place is going to be Jonathan Papelbon. Papelbon for the Doo-Woppers. He had to win 24 saves. He led the league in saves. 2.25 ERA, a 0.83 whip. 27 IAS, 40 strikeouts, and a 10 K per 9. That is, I mean, all these guys are going to have disgustingly good stats. So Papelbon there in 5th place.
Saves.
And now 24. We'll slide on into 4th place, and it's going to be Goose Gossage. Another Tiger Lily showing up in here. He led all relievers by far in wins with 7 wins. And the league leader for starting pitchers was 8. So
stop.
I believe it was 8. So 7 wins. 13 saves to boot. 1.71 ERA and a 1.06 whip. He led all relievers with 42.66 IIS.
Wow.
Because he would throw for like 5-6 innings out of the pen.
Jeez.
56 Ks was the most for a reliever as well, and a Ks per 9 of 8. So Goose Gossage, he made his mark this year. Mark says Valverde is so close. Valverde did officially finish last in relievers. Our 3rd place reliever is going to be Mariano
With
Rivera.
Those numbers, he's
for the
3rd?
Chuck Wagon fans. I know. I don't understand it. And it must be because his Ks and Ks per 9 were low. But he had 1 win, which that was hurting him. It took him a long time to get a single win. But 21 saves is up there. A 0.74 ERA and a 0.72 whip.
Disgusting.
30.33 IAS, which is great. But the 37 Ks and the 9.17 K per 9, I think, is a little light. But who cares? If you're getting saves and you have that ERA and whip, geez, man. Tough crowd, yeah. Finishing 3rd with those numbers is crazy. Well, that does bring us to 2nd place, who has, if you can imagine, even better numbers. And 2nd place is going to be none other than Billy Wagner. He had 2 wins, 18 saves, a 1.77 ERA, a 0.76 whip, 30 IAS, 44 strikeouts, and 11.10 Ks per 9. So Billy Wagner bringing it. Let's see, who did Billy Wagner is a but a dollar sign hit machine.
Ooh.
Dollar sign hit machine. Closer Billy Wagner. That brings us to number
And
one. You
shocker.
all probably know who it's going to be. Same as last year, 2 years running.
The man.
Our reliever of the year, Aroldis
Gotta be
Chapman,
drafted.
for the Masters of the Diamond. 2 wins, 19 saves. He didn't quite get to the 20 saves, but didn't matter. 1.5 ERA, a 0.89 whip. 32.33 IAS, 56 strikeouts, and 14 Ks per
I
nine.
thought when the draft was going on, I thought, why is he dropping so low? And
He wasn't even the first reliever
he wasn't the
drafted.
first couple, I don't think.
Yeah. I would say he's the third
I'm
or
like,
fourth reliever
man,
drafted. I
you're
don't know.
wasting it, man.
He was the reliever of the year last year. Well, one thing we can guarantee is that he will be the top reliever drafted next year after being top reliever 2 years in a row. Aroldis Chapman, Masters of the Diamond, whose both his relievers were the same as yours last year. Maybe he was looking at
I
what the
mean,
championship team
hey.
did. It's not a bad idea. Okay, congrats, Aroldis Chapman and Brent, for your reliever being the top reliever. That takes us to the Cy Young Awards. So for Cy Young, 5th place in the Cy Young race, Mordecai Three Finger
Wow,
Brown,
look at that hand.
for the Ghost of Candlestick Park. 7 wins, 9 quality starts, 1.75 ERA, 1.10 WHIP, 45 IIS, 51 strikeouts, and a 5.24 Ks per nine. As with some of the older school players, the Ks per nine hurt him in these numbers, I think, big time. But amazing numbers for Mordecai Brown.
I'll be dang.
So that will bring us to 4th place, and it will be
Mr.
Bob Feller.
Woo.
Man, he was up there in 2nd place for the longest time. He was just aces for Tony Ducey and Ducey's delights. Tony, it says you're watching. You finally got a player in the in the mentions here, and it's fitting. It would be Bob Feller because he was amazing. 8 wins, 8 quality starts, 2.15 ERA, 1.07 WHIP, 18 IAS, 79 strikeouts, and an 8.08 Ks per nine.
Man.
Amazing. Great job by Bob Feller, which
IIS
great
is
bounce
a little,
back year. He was not that
IIS
good last year.
is a little short though on that. I'm surprised he only had 18 IIS.
That's true. Two shutouts. Yeah. 3rd place, well, another Ducey's pitcher, Greg Maddux.
Oh
And
man.
talk about being efficient with his quality starts and wins. Both Feller and Maddux with the same amount of wins as quality starts. Maddux 7 wins, 7 quality starts, a 2 ERA, a .98 WHIP, 31 IIS, 59 Ks, and a 6.96 ERA. Didn't walk many guys as you would expect from Maddux. That WHIP super low. The Ks, it'd be hard for him to win with Ks per nine as a category, at least. It'd be hard for him to win Cy Young. 2nd place is going to, well, we already talked about this fellow, J.R. Richard.
Oh wow.
What did we say he was drafted in the 19th round or something?
Mm-hmm.
And he got 2nd place in the Cy Young race.
Wow.
Chris, what a steal for the Ghost of Candlestick Park. 6 wins, 9 quality starts, 1.59 ERA, 1.09 WHIP, 28 IAS, 74 Ks, 7.87 Ks per nine, as we've already detailed. J.R. Richard, total stud.
I'm gonna be shocked in this
But
next one.
speaking of total studs, yeah, everyone's going to be so shocked by the largest margin of victory by far in league history for an award. It's going to none other than, it's got to be the big unit, Randy Johnson, Masters of the Diamond, just raking in the awards. 7 wins, 8 quality starts, 1.83 ERA, 0.94 whip, 26 IAS, 98, almost 100, 98
It's absurd.
strikeouts, and a 12.74 Ks, 12.78 Ks per 9 as a starter. I mean, he's basically a closer pitching starter innings. That's what these numbers are, literally. Closer numbers, pitching starter innings. That's insane.
That's absurd.
Absolutely insane. There's Brent. He says, big unit. That's my MVP. So congratulations, Randy Johnson and Brent. Brent's just sweeping all these. Can he sweep? Can he sweep the awards categories? We'll see. We've come down to it. MVP. 5th place is going to be, well, it's not going to be a sweep because 5th place is Ty Cobb. Did he ever drop down? His first for most of the year, drops to 5th, but these numbers, no joke. 418 batting average, 61 hits, 27 runs, 16 walks, 1 home run, 25 RBI, and 13 stolen bases. I think the lack of walks kind of hurt him, and obviously not much power. But, I mean, that's just nitpicking. His numbers are incredible. Incredible this year. Ty Cobb for the Masters of the Diamond. So 4th place is going to be the very talented Larry Walker. Larry Walker for the Chuckwagon fans.
Wow.
He drafted him, I want to say 3rd round or something, which raised a little bit of eyebrows, but it worked out. It worked out. 422 batting average, 49 hits, 31 runs, 21 walks, 7 home runs, 28 RBIs, and a stolen base. He just raked. This is just the best version of Larry Walker.
Right
there. Larry Walker, what a stud. Doing it for Dan. Well, that brings us to 3rd place. And it will be Bill Terry. Bill Terry, we already talked about him for Ghost of Candlestick Park, but man, what a pick for Chris and his Ghost of Candlestick Park. That 429 batting average, the 66 hits, which led the league, 33 runs in the 30s. Didn't walk a ton, 14 walks, 6 homers, but 35 RBIs. So he had a 30-30, 30 runs, 30 RBI.
That's crazy.
Crazy builder. I mean, just such a stud.
Wasn't even drafted
all the way
last year.
through. No, insane. What an unlock. What an unlock there by Chris. So that brings us to 2nd place. It's going to be Jimmy Fox. Jimmy Fox, what an absolute stud he's been this year for Mosby. 392 batting average, almost 400, 51 hits, 29 runs, 22 walks, 10 home runs, 32 RBI, and 2 stolen bases.
Hey,
this dude racked up the hits.
He was first baseman for a world champion last year.
Yep. The first baseman for the champions last year. Jimmy Fox, 2nd place, almost got MVP, but that brings us to the real MVP. The guy who thought he should have won it last year, did not, came back to avenge himself. The first overall pick in the draft, Babe Ruth.
Mr. Baseball.
The Babe. Who else could it be?
Wow.
Who else could it be? I mean, last year he was so close to getting MVP. He fell short to Willie Mays. But man, I mean, his numbers: 351 batting average, 47 hits, 35 runs, 34 walks, 13 home runs, 41 RBI, and 2 stolen
I mean,
bases.
it's
So you talk about a double 30-30. He had a 40-40 and a 30-30.
he's the unquestioned in my mind number one pick every single year. He should be picked first. He's just unbelievable, and he also played for a world champion last year.
Yes, he was on the champion team, the show. And what? So the first and second place MVPs were your first and second round picks last year,
Yeah,
were they not?
Yep, they were. Wow.
My
So deserving. I
my.
mean, that's why you pick him first. It's the best. And then what's crazy is, was that not the most low key season for Babe Ruth? I mean, I feel like we kind of talked, but we never like fully talked about Babe Ruth all the time. We're like, oh, good line by Babe, and he wins MVP.
Yeah, it's true. He's kind of struggled in the beginning, not nearly as much as he did last year, but he struggled a little bit. But then you're right. He didn't have a whole ton of like, oh my gosh, 2 home runs, 7 RBI or anything like that. Just be like, oh yeah, and he pops another 2-run homer and things like
We'll see what
that. So you expect so much out of him that you see like a 2 for 5 with a 2-run homer, and you're not even like, oh my gosh, look at Babe Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
That's just says so much about him. But you're right. Both years, the first overall pick when you had it, I remember you saying, I did my research and it just has to be Babe. And that's exactly what Chris said. Chris said, I did my due diligence, did my research, thought, should it be someone else? And at the end of the day, no, it shouldn't.
Babe,
So
don't overthink.
So we'll see who gets the first overall pick next year. And who knows? Maybe they'll shock us. I could see Travis getting the first overall pick and going divergent and doing something different. So that's our awards.
Wow.
That's what we got.
That was fun.
For you. Yeah, that was fun. Man, some great performances. Obviously amazing players. Best players. The best players of all time. Oops.
Yep.
Well, we have a playoff broadcast to get to, but any final words from you on the awards?
That was fun. That was fun seeing the list of silver sluggers, kind of mixing those names in, old school, new school, guys that should absolutely be drafted every single year, guys that I'm not shocked that they are in those positions. And how fun is it that we get to talk about Babe Ruth as the MVP, Randy Johnson as the Cy Young, and even more recent, Aroldis Chapman as the relief pitcher. I mean, that's just no other league.
Yep. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Appreciation for all eras coming through. All eras. Because Babe Ruth back when he played in the 20s and 30s, and then Randy Johnson from the 90s through the early 2000s, and Chapman from the early 2000s to present day. So, or mid 2000s to early present day.
Can I make an early prediction though? Next year.
What's that?
Ready? Next year, Aroldis Chapman does not win reliever of the year. It will be one of our new eligible players.
Okay. Well, we won't go into any more detail than that. We'll leave you guys on the edge of your seats to try and figure that one out. But I think you might be onto something there. Brent says, my wife wants to know where you got your hat, Ben.
I got it online whenever the World Baseball Classic was going on, but it's hard to find when that World Baseball Classic is not going on. Like I said, you might have missed it, but like 4 years ago, I won the hat, waited too long, couldn't find it. Then this year, or the World Baseball Classic happened, I said, I'm buying it immediately. So
I've always found the MLB.com shop has the best selection of hats that I could find. So I would check there first. Mark Jacobs said Valverde will be the top closer next year.
Yes.
We'll see. Well, you'll have to draft him again and try it out and see what happens there, Mark. You'll have to give him more playing time. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We've got some playoffs to do, so we will see you momentarily on our playoff